Okay. Whew. The shelf is finally done. Yeah, I got myself a little bookshelf for my little books from my childhood. I'm thinking of also covering books from my childhood besides videos and DVDs, so get prepared for that. Alright, let's rock another episode. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 7th episode of Legofan 65's Childhood Inn. I bet you're all wondering, whoa, where is episode 6? Well, originally I was going to do Elvis' #1 hit performances and the complete first season of SpongeBob separately, but due to getting caught up from last week, I decided to just cover them both at the same time. So that's why this is episode 7. Anyway, I got a request from Movies and Train Studios. Shout out to you, Movies and Train Studios. Alright, let's take a look at what he requested. Alright, so Movies and Train Studios, you requested that I talk about Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I'll just be quite honest with you. I agree with many other fans of Star Wars that it's the worst Star Wars film ever made. But it does have a few moments to enjoy. Alright, let's get started. May the Force be with us. Okay, here's something that we're going to do every time I cover a movie in my Childhood Inn series. We'll be covering over exactly what happens in the film, 10 minutes or less. Alright, let's get started. Warning, this summary will maintain spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it now. Okay, so obviously a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there are two Jedi named Qui-Gon Jinn and his apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi, who are about to negotiate with Trade Federation Viceroy Newt Gunray. Until suddenly, when they're about to negotiate, he attempts to kill the Jedi, that way they don't get in the way of their evil plan to take over Naboo. While the Viceroy is still trying to get hold of Padme Amidala, the Queen of Naboo, to sign a treaty, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan flee to the actual planet of Naboo and meet a semi-pointless character named Jar Jar Binks, who many Star Wars fans say is pretty annoying, but to me, he's just alright. Later, Jar Jar leads them underwater and takes them to his underwater city called Gungan City, where Jar Jar is really in trouble, and before he is punished, Qui-Gon sets a force trick up on his leader, Boss Nass, and he has them borrow a underwater vehicle to help them get to the city and take Jar Jar along with him. So once they get to the city, they rescue a decoy of the Queen, a few servants, and they leave for Coruscant. But unfortunately, the hyperdrive is damaged, and so they're forced to find repairs. Luckily, they find a planet near Tatooine, which is famous for famous huts, including Jabba the Hutt himself, and numerous gangsters. This is where they meet a young Anakin Skywalker, who dreams to leave Tatooine and become a Jedi, but currently is under the works of Watto. So in order to get his freedom from Watto, he enters the pod race, which is kind of boring since it's 10 minutes long, and his arch-rival is Sebulba, who technically cheats throughout the whole thing by blowing up other racers' pods. So after Anakin wins the race, he gets his freedom, but is forced to leave his mother behind as she is not able to get her own freedom, and encourages him to go and learn to be a Jedi. Meanwhile, back on Naboo, the Sith has taken over the city. So the real Padme Amidala, that's right, the Queen Amidala that was on the ship was a decoy, introduces herself to the citizens of Gungan City, which is where Jar Jar lives, and they decide to help them save Naboo. So during the battle, they fight their way into the palace, and while they're in there, they come across Emperor Palpatine's apprentice, Darth Maul, who has a double-bladed lightsaber, so Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan decide to take care of him, and Padme and the other soldiers fight their way through the palace. While Anakin is forced to hide in the ship, he accidentally puts the ship on, and he and R2-D2 are sucked up into space, and they have to blow up a spaceship that's controlling all the battle droids. Luckily, they managed to do that, and the battle is over, and the Republic has won, and Naboo is finally safe. Next, we cut back to the battle between Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul, and Darth Maul kills Qui-Gon. This makes Obi-Wan very angry, and when he gets the opportunity to fight, Darth Maul pushes him down the hole, but Obi-Wan manages to get a grip of something, and Maul throws his lightsaber down the hole. Luckily, Obi-Wan is able to use the Force to get himself out of the hole and cuts Darth Maul in half with Qui-Gon's lightsaber. And Qui-Gon dies in Obi-Wan's arms. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is assigned to be Anakin's master, and the whole Stadium of Boo celebrates with winning the battle. The end. Okay, that wraps up the summary of what happens in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Now it's time to talk about where did I first see this release, and how did I get it? Well, there's something funny here. I didn't really get into Star Wars until I was in middle school, when The Force Awakens came out. So, after I saw The Force Awakens, me and my family recovered the rest of the Star Wars DVDs and put them all in chronological order, because obviously chronological order makes more sense. So, shout out to my parents, and, let's talk about where did I first see this release and how did I get it. Okay, this is actually something that my parents owned. Alright, that's just something. That's it. They had it before I was even born. So, once again, shout out to my parents. Alright, now it's time to talk about would I recommend this release? Absolutely. I maintain it does have a few flaws. Oh, actually, screw that. It has quite a few flaws. But it's a mixed bag, and it's definitely worth your time and money since it was the beginning of the saga, because how else would you watch Star Wars in chronological order without starting episode 1? Actually, I learned something off the Big Bang Theory. There's this order called the Machete Order, where you start with 4 and 5, then go back to the prequels, skip episode 1, watch 2 and 3 as a flashback, and then finish with Return of the Jedi. And Return of the Jedi, probably my second favorite behind The Force Awakens, honestly. Alright, so, absolutely, I do recommend you pick up The Phantom Menace, even though it does have a few flaws, and it can be quite boring. So, not one of George Lucas's best works, but it's definitely worth watching. Alright, that wraps up the 7th episode of Legofan 65's Childhood Inn. Next time we return to Thomas and Friends and cover Tenders and Turntables and other stories. Alright, so tune in next time for that, which might be 3 days from this video. I have no idea. Anyways, goodbye everyone.